we step into the next level. Timeless game, every day of the week. Could tell you how to level up your spirit and be success driven and mind strong. Get your finances right, get your grind on. You know there's power in the story. Tune in, this the valor of the true man. Success blueprint.
All right, welcome back. Success Blueprint. I'm Mike Whitaker, Man of Valor. We have Jaime here, the financial enabler, right? And we're continuing on with his interview, talking about his life. And we kind of left off last time talking about, right, getting married and right here, loving the life that he has now. And man, we're gonna keep diving into this thing, okay? And let's get to the next questions, right? So, man, so it was really good, bro, hearing that, you found a good woman, a woman of God, a man, and now you realize the man that you had to be so you can have the results in life that you want, right? To create those things. So that's powerful, bro. Love that. Love to hear that. So as I'm thinking about this, right, I'm like, okay, great. He's found a successful career, right? Obviously in the Marines, has done a lot of things, comes from a great family. Mom and dad both love him. Matter of fact, we haven't even talked about it. Do you have siblings?
I have two siblings. I have a brother who lives in Denver and my sister that lives in New York City. My
Nice.
brother is 15 months younger than I am, and my sister is 9 years younger than I am. Both are brilliant. My brother's the smartest man I know. So yeah, they're pretty awesome people.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Any of them married? You got any nieces, nephews somewhere?
No nieces and nephews. My brother's married. My sister's not.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know if my sister's gonna get married. She loves the traveling. She loves very social community person. So I don't know. I think it is in her cards, but I just not at this time. And my sister, my brother knows. I know he wants kids, but not they don't have kids at this time.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. All right. Now, so let's transition a little bit, right? So I want to know, where did the financial enabler come from? Right? What's the genesis of that? What made you come up with this? Like, now it's like one of your things, like it's used. It's your tag, right?
Yeah. So where was it?
And
20.
I don't think I know this story, by the way. I think this would be a
Yeah.
first I've heard. So
It's funny. So it's funny you ask that because we haven't told you. So in 20, so my divorce was 2020, 2021, somewhere around there, whatever. And a few months after, like right before I met Tanya, maybe a month or 2 months before I met Tanya, maybe a little bit before, I was like, I need to do something. And I started thinking, I was like, what can I do to make money? I wanna like change my whole life. And a guy told me, it's like, we could start growing alfalfa in an apartment, right? He was doing that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, but that sounds dumb. Not my cup of tea. And one day I was running, and I was like, why didn't I start an Instagram, start teaching people finance? It's like, that's a really good idea. And so I finished that run, and I remember coming back, and I'll sit down, and I'm like, what can I do? It's like, how do I rename this? How do I brand this? And in MARSOC, all the support jobs are called enablers,
enablers.
right? So I was like, okay, what if I'm a financial enabler? You know, I'm like, this is good. So I just played onto the role that I had in MARSOC. And that's when I thought about it. I was like, cool, let's go with that. And that's why the original logo included the MARSOC EOD logo. Eventually have removed it, have the whole new branding. And that's when it came about. And, I had a Teachable at one point. I was going to get paid with Teachable. And that's when I eventually had the idea of this business where I could, eventually connect people to the right company. And it like all the doors opened up. And it was actually originally, quote unquote, introduced to me like that I could just teach people. And eventually I fell in love with it. I was like, this is great. It's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Because when I hear enabler too, especially from being military myself, right? I hear, well, these are the people that help everybody else get to where they need to get to, right?
Right.
And the real tough guy workers, right, do all of the things, and they need support, right? So this is support to help people. So that's super cool, super cool. So tell me, what's the vision for financial enablers? Like, what's the end goal? Is there something you just want to do it on Instagram? What are you trying to do? What's the goal?
My goal is to change the entire course of service member finances. I want to be the most well-known, quote unquote, financial educator for all the service members and veterans. The idea, the purpose is that there is a need in the demographic, and I know that the demographic can benefit for having better resources, better opportunities, and I want to be the guy that delivers on that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the whole, and I like that's the whole thing, you know. How can I deliver even better, more education, more in-depth education, not just niche to either investments into estate planning, retirement, or insurance. I want the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's part of like why the vision is to have a full firm or a fractional family office type thing. I want to be able to do all that thing.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Right. I love that. Right. So tell me, as you go through, as you've been through, obviously you've led people, you're right. You've had your own folks and things like that. What role did does your military background play in how you lead? Right. What role? How does that help you when you think about success? When you think about vision? What role does the military play on your life as you lead people?
It's a matter of standards, right? What standards I can hold for myself. How many more good standards can I hold for myself? I believe in excellence, the execution of excellence, is that how can we do things at the best level possible? And I have this idea of like, let's say I'm doing my whole business wrong. Let's say I'm screwing absolutely everybody, right? I need to be constantly thinking, how can I fix it? Like, can I get better? Right? Because if 10 years from now I find out that I was screwing people, I need to realize that sooner, right? And it's a growth thing. Now, I don't think I'm screwing anybody. The idea is that how can I do it better? I have to continuously raise my standard. How do I become more effective communicator? So that the military is what taught me that. And coming from special operations where there's like the no fail mission, you know, I would say that making people financially free is a no fail mission,
Mm,
but I have to fail to achieve the no fail mission.
sure.
So I'm constantly striving with that, and that desire. And I see it now, like even within the group that I'm in, that we are, so to speak, like the special operations of this industry. How do we do it better than everybody? How do we improve everybody? But that's where, like, you know, man, I just thought of a great idea. And I'm gonna write this out before I think it out. It's like coming out with like the you ever heard of the soft truths? Like humans are more important than hardware, right?
Mhm.
You know, people are more important than products, right? Like there's certain
Yes.
things, there's truths, right? Like I have those same ideas and the constant seek for self improvement, like the idea of selections every day. It is every day, right? We can get removed any day. So
Mhm.
that those are some principles that came in, and now from EOD, I like solving problems. I always make the joke that I like this. I could miss EOD because at the end of the day it was easier because bombs don't have opinions, right? People have opinions, right?
Sure.
They're way more explosive in my opinion. So
Mhm.
I remember that with joy. It's like, oh man, I'd rather just do that. There's no opinions there. There's a bunch of opinions here. So I've gathered a lot of that, and that's why I think that I believe that my practice has been so good because I brought a lot of these principles and I've kept it at that level, which I realize now most people cannot perform and stay on that level on a consistent period. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're doing this for people. I'm a veteran too, so that community, there's really not a lot of information and knowledge around money, right? In general, for the military folks, and it's interesting, especially coming from middle America or whatever part of America. People think you join the military and you're rich, right? You got
Yeah.
all this money coming in. You must be making a lot of money. It's not. This not what you not what people think, and need help as well, right? To be able to get to the next level. So I love that you're doing that. Okay, so tell me, let's go to the next portion of life, right? So your faith, right? And I know you. I know you got a strong faith. You believe God. You trust God wholly. Where did that come from? Like, where does this start for you?
So I was an altar boy growing up at
Okay,
a Catholic church
is this in Ecuador or?
in Ecuador, like
Okay.
getting the gowns and everything and giving
Yeah.
the wine and all of that. That was the first introduction of it. Then my mom, for some reason, decided to go to a Christian church. I even did a retreat, but I don't remember much about it. Then we moved to the United States, and I go to this church called it's called the CIA, which was Centro Internacional de Adoración, I think it was, which pretty much International Center of Worship, I think it was. That was a great church. That's where I started going to like the evangelism ministry, but I remember like being in the evangelism industry, being saved, believing this stuff, but I realized I didn't understand anything of the Bible. I don't
Mm,
even think I read the Bible. I had one and I would pull it up at church and I would read, but like nothing made sense. And then poof, nothing. I didn't do anything faith related for 20 years.
Wow.
Not 18, 20 years. And then once I started doing this business, there was this, do you remember Zach Fuller? Zach was like strong Christian. And I called him one day. He was like, what Bible should I buy? I don't know why. I want to buy a Bible. What Bible should I buy? So I bought it, but I still wasn't inspired to go to church. So I didn't even start reading it right at the moment. Eventually I started reading it. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna tear this whole thing up. And that's when I went all in. Right. Once I told myself, and I realized is that once told myself I need to do something difficult, is when I decided to enjoy it. So I took an academic approach to my faith that got me closer to my faith. So
Mm,
now it's interesting because, and a pastor I spoke to recently said this is like, if all of a sudden all the Bibles got wiped out, do you have enough in your head? Do you know enough? And I was like, man, I don't. And I also know that I know more than most.
mm,
But and I realized that academia is not necessary to be a good Christian, to be a Christian, and academia is not necessary to be saved. The knowing of the Bible helps us walk with God and helps us in our relationship. So I'm
mhm,
now, majority of my last 6 months have been, okay, I understand it. I have knowledge, apply it to relationship, apply it to life, apply it to relationship with Christ. Like, what does it look like? So I've like grabbed all the knowledge and now I'm in like an application. But it's interesting because and you've been a Christian longer than I have, stronger than I have, and it's like great, I figured it out. Cool, I figured out that I figured out nothing. You know, I have total mastery of this tiny little level, and I know nothing about like whatever it could come.
mhm,
And one of the things I've been struggling with lately, and I'm gonna say it, I haven't even told you about this. It just is that I feel so strong in my faith. Like I believe so crazily of what God is able to do that I don't feel, like I don't feel doubt. I don't feel fear. I don't feel
mhm,
concern. I don't feel, I'm
yeah,
like, whatever, bring it. It's like, and I realized is that nobody in the faith taught me that.
yeah,
No matter what church I went to, nobody taught me that. And it was just reading the Bible to be like, well, God did all this for Israel. Why wouldn't he do it for me? I'm just one
yeah,
guy. I'm not even a whole country. Just like, hook me up, big dog. Like, I'm not asking for the land of milk and honey. I'm asking for an incredible wife. I'm asking for incredible opportunity. And I realize it can all happen. So it's interesting because I don't see enough Christians. And Alex Hormozy did a podcast just came out yesterday with a Christian guy, and he's like 99% of Christians are not Christians. They
yeah,
just church. And it's like
existed.
I feel so strong with it that I realize I don't know many people that are like this. Like a lot of people pray in doubt. A lot of people pray in like fear. And it's like, bro, how? Like there's this whole book of like, trust me, big dog.
Examples. Yes.
Yeah. And like so it's been
Mm,
how do we feel so strong in our faith without being cocky with our faith?
mhm,
Because I don't want to impose that on anybody. But I'm like, whatever. Like my house wants to burn down, bring it. Like, how bad could it be? Like, it can't be that bad. Bring it. So yeah, that's a very interesting. Like that's where I'm at right now in this journey. But again, I'm definitely realizing I feel like I know a ton, but I know a ton knowing that I I think that in knowing faith in the Bible, it's good to be in a place that you know a lot. But knowing that you know a lot also implies that you can learn an infinite amount. Like, great.
love it.
Like I made it to the top of level one, so to speak. It's like max level one out of like a billion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it feels like.
That's what's cool, and it's in truth is right on par with the Bible, right? That's why you go from deeper depths, higher heights, right? Going from faith to faith, like just and there's levels to it all, which is super cool. And for you to realize that, I remember real quick. I remember when I'm like, man, I got a lot of knowledge on the Bible. I'm realizing just how much I don't know at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much more here that I haven't tapped into. So that's super cool that you're in that place, right? Yeah, love that, love that. Okay, so next question: what legacy are you trying to leave in your life? What would you like this podcast to be, right? Our thing, this YouTube channel to be the success blueprint. What is the legacy you want to leave from Financial Enabler? What's the legacy you want to leave with your future kids, with your future wife, with your wife, right? With your all of the things.
I would say that I think that, and I'm gonna speak for me because you're gonna. I think that's a really good question that you'll answer later. Is we have achieved success that I personally believe many people would aspire to. How do we pass that on,
Mhm.
right? And there's because unfortunately, majority of success is either you have $0 and you're an 18-year-old, you know nothing, and then Alex Hormozy or Leo Messi or LeBron. What's the in between? I feel that you and I are in between, but it's still a commendable success in our relationship, in our wealth, in our
Hmm.
health, in our for you as a father. So how do we pass that on? And it's also a matter of leaving a trail. Like right now, this podcast looks like this. It may look bad. It may sound not as good, but we started.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna look and sound like Myron Golden, like Hormozy and all this. That's where we're going. But we don't want to wait to have the money and time and resources to do it that way. I
Right.
want to leave a road, right?
Yeah.
That somebody, maybe nobody will ever watch this episode, but at least one person can come back 30 years from now and be like, man, these guys have been at it since then and never quit. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. That's kind of the vision that I have of extending this for a legacy and a Christ-centered legacy, a legacy that we strive to improve, that one day we're going to be in the same podcast talking about a mistake that we made, more mistakes that we made, not a mistake, more mistakes. And how do we pass that on so people can grow continuously and really have an impact through for anybody, you
Yeah.
know? So I think that would be really important,
Yeah.
and I want to look back on this as something that people can say, that's how they did it. You can do it too, you know?
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Okay. And then last one, last closing thoughts. If
And as a
someone's
matter of
feeling,
fact, I think I have more time because I realized that the person that I have to meet is an hour behind.
oh, well, there you
So
go.
that feels
Right.
good.
There you go. So we're good. Right. So here we go. There's a question too. Let's say somebody's listening right now, right?
Mhm.
10 years from now, a year from now, 6 months, 3 months from now, and they're feeling stuck.
Ooh.
What's the first step you think that they can actually should take in their life?
Read a book. Read a book. Not
Mm,
not this book. I would even argue not even the Bible, just a book. Grab a book that is not fiction and learn something. If I think that that would be the most pivotal thing, because what I realized, somebody last night, just coincidence, was sending me all these pictures from a book by Adam Grant. Whatever. I don't even remember the name of the book. I've never heard of the book. I've heard of the guy, and the guy is like this this guy is telling me as if he found the golden nugget of books. And I'm like, no, no, no. That book, all books suck. All books are good. But the moment that we put us on receive mode, any book can hit home. But then now, like for example, you and I are in such a constant state of the receive mode that as long as it's not fiction or useless fiction, we are looking for what do we get? How do I receive from this? But if somebody feels stuck, you got to pick up a book, preferably in the subject you're stuck in. Financially, get a book on finance, relationship, that, parenting, that, and put yourself in receive mode and start digesting it. In a lot of times, you don't even have to read it. You can just listen to it. But I think that is the first thing. It changes how we start thinking. That is way more important than TV. Is way more important than a movie. It's actually even way more important than a conversation because in conversation we often can there's emotion. An emotion can be conflicting. It can be conflicting. It can be confusing. And if you're immature in one of those subjects, it may not hit home. But if you
mm,
put yourself in receive mode with a book, it's like, give it to
yeah. That's good. That's good. So, I mean, great advice for people automatically. Is that, how did you get into the financial world like you are, right? Is it books? Did you go to school for it? Like do you have to go, like we didn't even mention that. Did you go to college? You got a master's degree? You have any of those things? Or you just, man, I'm just some guy that learned a bunch of crap, right? Which one is it?
a
Or
little bit
all
of
of
a little bit of all. So I was always really good with saving money with my deployments. So I've had financial advisors, I've had life insurance salesmen, I've had tax planners, and I've made so many mistakes with all of them. Like I figured out just about not excuse me, I don't know everything. That's far from it. I figured out a lot just by using the right and wrong things over and over. You know, I have like 15 credit cards. Like I know how to do this game. But then I got an MBA, which didn't teach me anything on personal finance, but it taught me how to think in a business financial perspective. And once I decided that I wanted to become the financial enabler, I started consuming finance books at the cyclic rate. But going back to my edge with books is that I used to run a lot and ruck a lot. So I would spend sometimes, over 10 hours a week running, and all those hours were listening to a book. So like I was consuming books at like a much faster rate than most people that and I'm sure that you're the same way. There's books that you forgot that you heard. There's books that you got nothing from, but they're somewhere in our database that whenever you plug in the right information, I can tell that our mind is like click.
Yeah.
So we've just put in so much stuff. Like we're throwing a bunch of puzzle pieces in our mind that eventually, whenever we have the two right pieces, like click, learned, click. So that's kind of what I realize is that, and I feel that knowledge is sought in a worldly way. But even King Solomon said to seek wisdom as the most important thing. And wisdom is God given. God created the books, right? The Bible is the book. And then I believe that all other books can be godly, right? Or there's maybe not God inspired, but they can be godly. And I can start connecting things. But the problem is that people don't consume enough. So then, kind of like when I was young, as I said earlier, the Bible seemed empty and ununderstood. I have nothing to connect it. But now I have so much experience that I read a story and I'm like, ooh, that applies to me because of this, and that applies to them because of that. So yeah, that has been a big part. It's just how much wisdom can I absorb, and then retain comes later. But people try to retain early, and then they get frustrated because they're not learning. It's like just overflow it, and eventually something starts sticking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Right. That's good. So again, reading is everything, right? Listening, reading, whatever you do. And in our world today, you got YouTube, you got podcasts, you got ebooks, Audible, you got all kind of things. There's no excuse.
And I think that people are doing themselves an injustice by only relying on YouTube.
Sure.
I think that's a huge injustice. Which I'm gonna take advantage of this since you're asking about books. Have you started reading this book?
No, ours come in today. I can't wait.
It is so good. It's a little redundant, but I'm halfway through. It's so good. And this book has like opened up a lot of my perspectives, and it's like solidified a lot of thoughts I had. For some reason, I decided to read it because normally I don't read them, right? Normally I
Okay.
read what I want and listen to the things that I'm told to read, to listen. But I chose to read this one, and it has been really freaking good. Like
Nice.
solid concepts and applicable this second.
Okay.
So I feel
Excited
that,
about
yeah, I think that not enough young men and women prioritize constructive reading because there's a lot, especially I think it's more common in women to have unconstructive reading, like women that listen to smut or women that read smut or read murder mysteries. I feel that, or romantic stories, I feel that they're not allowing valuable time to grow. Now,
Mm.
don't read all those things, but you have to read something that builds you too,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think that, and I feel that at the end of the day, right back when people say I used to run up, it was my getaway, it was my safe place. People reading to run away, while you and I read to go find.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
100%. 100%. That's good. That's good, man. So I appreciate you sharing, bro. This has been really good getting to know you some more, right? And letting the world see it at the same time. So I'm gonna ask you in closing, right?
Yeah.
What do you want? What legacy do you want your life to lead? When somebody reads about you 10, 20, 30 years after you pass, right? And the things that you've set up and the things that you're doing in life, what do you want people to say in your obituary? What would you love to hear about you when you're standing in heaven and God lets you listen in on the funeral when people are doing the memorial service? Like, what do you want? What legacy are you looking for? And with your future kids, because we know you want kids in the future. What do you want them to say about you? Right? What is that?
I'm glad you're asking because I write it down every day. I expanded the kingdom of God because I'm a raider for the kingdom of God. I use the raider thing, throwing it in. I am a role model. I'm a champion husband. I'm a role model father. I'm a great CEO of a company. And I'm currently saying I have a six pack, but I'm healthy, right? He was healthy, right? He was fit, right? So, and I put him in that order, like man of God, champion husband, role model father, right? Then a business person, then really healthy. If my kids literally repeat that, like in my obituary, they stand up and they literally read this thing and everybody says, of course. And he gets off, I'm fine with it. Like, that's it. I'm good with that. There's nothing else that needs to be said. And I've juggled where to put him because like a pet peeve of mine is when people are like, my wife is the greatest wife in the world. It's like, no, she's not. You haven't met mine, right? You want to put money on that? Like, no, you
Right.
won't. It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm still with Candace, right? Like, to me, when people write that, it's like you can't prove that, right? So that's why I'm a champion husband to my wife, and I'm a role model dad because a role model is something that is very easy to emulate.
Yeah.
right? Like I see you as a role model dad. So like I'm always looking for the things that how you handle your kids so that, okay, those are the things. It's like if I grab those things, I'll be good. So those 5 things is my whole legacy. And I write it every night because it one thing I've told my people that I impact is that it has to be that clear in your mind. If there's any room for vagueness, and if you have to go find it even for 2 seconds, you're never gonna get it.
Hmm.
Never gonna get it. So yeah, I'm like mega pumped about that. Like
Yeah.
that, I think this our mentors have given us that. It's like I know that if I walk up to those guys, they're like, "What do you want?" They're like, this, and this." Next question. It's like it should. You can't think about it.
Yeah. Should be on the tip of your tongue for sure.
It should be like almost like how do you start brushing your teeth? Like this, right? That
Mm,
way. It's like, yeah, that's my legacy.
love it.
Yeah, and let me close this one because next time you're up. And so yeah, guys, this is me. You guys have gotten a full hour of me, and yeah. Be do you have any closing statements on this?
Yeah, I'll say no closing questions. I'll say this. I love to hear your story, right? I love to see how you're building it. I get to see some the behind the scenes and watching it happen and all at the same time. And man, the struggles and the times that we're like, this is hard, this sucks, right? And it's all worth it in the end for the people that we're going to impact, for our families, for the way we're headed. So I commend you, man. I love that you have that clarity. And obviously, we wouldn't be doing things like this if we both didn't, right? But I appreciate you. So man, keep doing big things, bro. Looking forward to where God is taking and what we're gonna do with it. Absolutely.
I thought to be doing it with you. And guys, like, subscribe. We're looking for questions. We want to grow this. We want to make this an incredible podcast, YouTube that has a big impact on people. And stick around. We're going to be back at it next week. And yeah, if you like, subscribe, send it to a friend. You guys have a good one. Later.
Peace.